Hi everyone, how's it going? I have a free weekly live training for you today, and it's going to be all about somatic coaching. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm super intrigued by it, and luckily there's an amazing coach in my Facebook group, has been trained in it, and she's going to be our guest speaker today and teach us all about somatic coaching and how we can incorporate it into our coaching sessions right now to really help our clients use their bodies and get amazing breakthroughs and to get over their limiting beliefs and their fears. And she even has a free worksheet she designed for us. So I will put that link in the comments so that way you have access to that as well. But her name is Niamh Mitchell, and she is currently in Madrid, Spain. And I think she is on right now. So I am going to bring her on. Hold on just a second. Oh, not yet. Sometimes it takes a while with these Facebook Lives. Oh, there she is. How's everyone's week been going? Let me know if you're watching. Tell me what was the best part of your week this week. Okay, on. It's happening. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Excited about this training.
I am so excited about it as well. And I love your outfit. I love the yellow with the flowers. It's so like just beautiful and refreshing.
It's the last week of summer here in Madrid, so taking full advantage of wearing summer clothes before winter hits on Sunday, I think.
Yes, yes, perfect. Good thinking. Well, yeah, hi Amanda, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I would love for you to introduce yourself and then bring us into what is somatic coaching. While you're doing that, I'm going to get the link in the comment section for the worksheet so people can download that, but otherwise I'll let you take over.
Okay, thank you. My name is Niamh, as Christy already said. I live in Madrid. I'm a life coach, but my background is in Reiki. I'm a Reiki Master, and I've spent many, many years doing energy healing. So I take a holistic view of coaching. I think we need to treat each individual as a whole individual and not isolate different parts of them. I think we're too inclined to separate the mind from the body these days. So there's way too much emphasis given to the mind, and we are losing out, and we're not taking full advantage of the wisdom that the body has to offer. So while somatic is a Greek word that just means related to the body. And somatic coaching, well, it's a branch of coaching in and of itself. It's something that I like to incorporate into my regular coaching rather than treat it as something separate. It is focusing on the body as a tool for information, as a tool to help clients to change habitual behaviors, as a way to help clients to observe themselves by getting them to observe their bodies and how different things show up in their bodies. So I think it's a very important aspect of coaching, and I'm going to share 3 very, very simple tools today, but they're very powerful. And I've used them with my clients, and I've used them in other settings as well with clients who've come for energy work. And like we talked about the other day, some of these practices are not just good for us to do with our clients. They're important for us to do ourselves so that we can show up more powerfully for our clients. So the first one that we're going to look at today is the grounding exercise.
I just wanted to jump in and clarify, because I asked you this question. I'm curious if other people might be wondering this too. You said that even if we do complete online work, we're not physically with the client, we can still do these exercises, correct?
Absolutely. I do all my coaching on the phone. So I don't even normally have a visual contact with my clients, because I think, first of all, that was the way I trained as a coach. And second of all, at the beginning, it was a little bit weird and uncomfortable. And I was thinking, I'm missing all this visual information. But then when you cut that out, there's actually, you pick up on a different level of information. You're listening with your whole body to the client who's presenting themselves there with their whole body. They're not checking, oh God, that spot is desperate, or my hair is sticking up, or, every time they make a gesture, they're not second guessing how you're going to interpret that gesture. So when you don't have a visual, you can still pick up a lot about somebody's body energy.
Okay. Perfect.
So yeah, you definitely don't have to be present with them physically or visually.
Okay. Got it. All right. So what's the first one that you're going to teach us?
So the first one is grounding. And I'm sure a lot of coaches on here have come across grounding or heard of grounding. And what grounding does is it connects us energetically to the earth. And by doing that, it helps bring us out of our head and back into our body. And it helps us to show up more powerfully because we become contained. When we're properly connected to the earth, we're rooted. And for us to fully grow and blossom, we need those roots to be firmly in place. So for coaches, as I mentioned earlier, it's really important to be grounded when you're starting your coaching conversations, because it allows you to be more fully present for your client. You're connected and you're rooted yourself, so you're able to show up for your client. It takes you out of your head. You don't start getting distracted thinking about your next call or your next email or the other 50 million things that we tend to have going on at a time. So grounding is a very, very simple thing to do. And there's lots of different ways to ground yourself, but we're just going to have a look at one very simple way today. So if anyone who's watching wants to join in, please don't do this if you're driving, but I'd encourage you to close your eyes. It'll only take a minute or two.
Okay.
So you going to close your eyes?
Yep, I'm going to do it. You know what's funny, Niamh, is I do this, I'm a yoga instructor, and I do this all the time anyways in yoga classes and for myself, but I didn't realize that I could really bring this into coaching sessions too. So I'm excited about this.
That's the thing. A lot of these somatic practices actually come from other areas, and because everything tends to be compartmentalized, it's taken a while for them to be brought into coaching as a tool. It's that idea that yoga is one discipline and somatic psychology is another discipline and coaching is another discipline again, instead of having that blended idea where you're using all the tools available to get the best results. Everything tends to be boxed off. So you'll probably recognize all three of them, or if not, at least some of them from practices like yoga.
Yeah.
So we'll do the grounding first,
okay.
And then when we're done, I'll talk a little bit more about how you can bring it into coaching.
Okay.
For your clients.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
So close your eyes. Take a few breaths. Place one or both of your hands on your tummy just below your belly button. Feel your breath going into this area. And if you're sitting down, become very conscious of how your body feels in the chair. Bring your awareness to your back. Feel how you're sitting in the chair. And then slowly bring your awareness to your legs. Visualize roots coming out of the base of your spine and the soles of your feet, going deep, deep into the earth. down through the floor, down through the ground, deep into the core of the earth. Now feel the energy of the earth coming back up through those roots, up through your legs, through your spine, through your arms, out through your head, and let that energy fill your energetic body. Feel it getting denser so that you're surrounded by a capsule. Take one more deep breath deep into your abdomen. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I like that. I feel, yeah, more like, whew, and focused.
So what did you notice, Krista, doing that?
That's a great coaching question. What did I notice? I just noticed that I was really like, oh my God, thinking about how's this training going to go today and where am I going to go eat afterwards and how many people are going to be on right now watching and all that stuff. And then when we did that, it just really helped me to like get present in my body and to not worry about all that other stuff and not feel as like scattered brained.
And what is available to you now that wasn't available to you before you did?
What's available to me now? I think what's available for me is to get really clear now on like what I want and what I need without being distracted.
So that's a perfect example of one of the ways you can bring it into your coaching calls. Quite often when our clients get on the phone or when we meet them, they've come from their real life.
I think you're frozen, Niamh. Can you still hear me?
It can be very useful when your client's coming to the call and they're in that busy headspace to do a quick grounding exercise. As you saw, it only took less than 2 minutes maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it really sets the tone then for the conversation so that you can actually get some real good quality coaching done. Whereas I find if a client comes to the call and they're scattered and distracted and not fully present in their bodies, they're talking and they're engaging and they're setting their agenda and they're doing all the things that we like to do in coaching calls, but they're not amount of progress. They're not gaining a lot of awareness, and they might be moving towards their goals, but it's on a more superficial level.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when they get into their bodies and they really are present, that awareness building and everything that happens in the coaching conversation happens at a deeper level. So it's results are different if you've got someone showing up and you can bring them and guide them into that space where they're fully present for themselves.
Yeah, and it's funny because I have a client that requests this at the beginning of all of our calls, and she'll ask to do like some breathing and grounding work like that. And I was like, sure. And it really does work, but I didn't realize that I guess we were essentially doing somatic coaching in that way. But yeah, it's been working great for her.
Sorry, you froze there for a second. You have a client that requests this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you hear? Your video is frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay, no, I lost you for a second. So I heard up to you saying that you have a client who requests this.
Yeah, every week she requests to start out with some breathing and guided visualization and working through her body so that way she can focus for the call. And it works really great. And I didn't realize that we were essentially doing somatic coaching with her.
Yeah. And I know one of the other things is for people who identify as empaths and people who tend to take on the energy of other people, their emotions, things like that. Grounding exercise is a real great starting point in learning how to contain your energy and how to harness your skills as a sensitive person so that you're not taking on other people's stuff. There's a big myth around being sensitive, and I'm not sure how to articulate this now. People believe that being an empath or being sensitive, that's your lot. You know, that it's part of what you have to deal with in this lifetime, to take on the energy of other people and then to recover from the side effects. And that's not true. You can learn skills and you can learn techniques to master your sensitivity so that you're showing up as a witness to other people's emotions and their sufferings. I mean, compassion means to suffer with, not suffer for. And that's what happens a lot with sensitive people, is that they take on other people's emotions, the emotions that they're not dealing with. That's why, you know, if you've ever had a conversation with someone on the phone or in person and you come back or you come away from that conversation, you're really drained, it's because they've taken all your energy for themselves, and then you have absorbed all the energy that they're not willing to deal with.
Yeah. And I remember, yeah, you were telling me about that on our conversation the other day of, you notice that a lot of the coaches, myself included in this community, are empaths. We identify as empaths, and how important it is to do these techniques so that, like you said, you're not like taking on all of their energy and then just leaving completely drained afterwards.
Absolutely, because, and I mean, there's a reason why there's a lot of empaths in industries like coaching and therapy and energy healing, because sensitive people are naturally drawn to help other people. But it shouldn't come at such a high cost. And being a sensitive or an empath is an amazing gift, but you have to master your gift. You're doing, I think my opinion is that you're doing yourself and the people that you want to serve a disservice by not fully learning how to master the skill, so that you're not getting depleted, you're not getting drained, you're not burning out from taking on other people's stuff. And things like grounding, it's not, grounding in itself isn't enough on its own to prevent that energy transfer. There's a few other skills that someone has to learn until they fully master their sensitivity. It's a really good place to start.
Okay. And so then you said there's another one now that you'd want to take us through, right? The second one?
So body scanning, again, you probably came across it, you know, anyone who's done meditation, it's quite similar to guided relaxation. It's literally scanning your body.
Are you still with us? Kendall, what is the best learned line from the session so far? What do you mean by that? I'm curious. Stacy, seems like you identify as an sensitive empath as well. Thank you for sharing that. Niamh, are you still here?
I'm back. Yeah, froze again there for a second.
Okay, so we're talking about body scanning next.
So body scanning is just going through the different areas of your body to identify where you're holding tension and what that tension feels like and how it shows up in different situations. So you literally bring your awareness to each part of your body, step by step, focusing starting from the top of your head right down to your. So it's It's very simple. It's you bring your awareness to the top of your head, see observe what sensations are.
Oh, you cut out again. Okay. Oh, the silly Wi-Fi. You just gotta roll with it, right? I use body scanning all the time when I teach yoga in the meditation at the end in Shavasana. So this is so funny. I didn't know I could use this in a coaching session. I'm so excited.
Hello.
All right, we're trying to bring Niamh. Hello, Niamh.
Hi, I'm here. Whoop.
Now you're just a black box, but we can hear your voice.
Okay. So what I was saying is, would you like me to just describe what it is and how it's beneficial in coaching, or do you want to go through a full body scan?
Yeah, let's go through it so that way people can see like what it looks like, and then I can experience it myself and be able to describe it better.
Okay. So again, anyone who wants to participate and do it deeply, you can close your eyes. It's not obligatory, but it does help you to bring your awareness out from outside back into your body. So are you ready and we begin?
Okay. I'm closing my eyes.
So bring your awareness to the top of your head and notice any sensations that are there. Move down your forehead, the muscles around your eyes, around your mouth, bring your awareness to your jaw. Notice any sensations in your jaw or your neck. Bring your awareness out into your shoulders and your arms. Be aware of any sensations, any tension. If you notice any tension, bring your breath to that area and let the tension evaporate. Bring your awareness to your chest. Is your breath shallow in your chest? Is there any tightness? Are there any other sensations that you're noticing? Bring your awareness to your back, to your upper back. Breathe into that area. Again, noticing any sensations, any tightness, any tension, and let it go. Bring your awareness to your mid-back. And to your lower back and pelvis. Now focus on your abdomen, your stomach. Are there any sensations that you notice in this area? Do you have any sense of your internal organs? Are you noticing any tension or any tightness? If you notice anything in your stomach, bring your breath, direct your breath to that area and let the tension melt away. Now bring your awareness down through your legs, into your knees, down through your calves. Notice any tension, any sensations. Finally, bring your awareness down into your feet, into your toes. And release any tightness, any tension that you notice. Now I want you to bring your awareness to your body as a whole. Notice how it feels from your head to your feet. Slowly bring your awareness back into the room you're sitting in. What can you hear? What can you smell? What can you sense on your skin? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. That's enough. We won't do any more today. So that was a full body scan, and now I'd rarely do that in a coaching session unless the client was really, really disconnected from their body. And then it's important as a tool for them to reconnect to their body and to refamiliarize themselves with the sensations in different parts of their body, especially where we hold tension. Did you notice anything in that, Krista? Did you find you had tension in any particular part of your body that you hadn't been aware of?
Yeah, I felt a lot like on the right side of like my forehead and my right jaw, and I have some scoliosis going on, so I usually have a lot more tension on that side anyways, but it was just really interesting to like, yeah, feel that in my face. And you're right, we don't really pay attention to our bodies that much as we're going busily throughout the day. So it was just so great to I just feel so much more relaxed now, and I feel just more at ease, and I feel good. I feel better.
And that's one of the great side effects of doing body scanning, and it's something that, again, it's really quick. You can do it for yourself. In terms of coaching applications, though, it can be deeper than just relaxation. So I'll give you an example. So imagine you have a client who is having problems in work. He wants to share his ideas. He wants to speak up in meetings. He wants to be able to be more assertive with his boss. And you've done all the work around the limiting beliefs. You've done all the work around, creating awareness about what he'll gain from speaking up, what he's losing from not speaking up, etc., etc., etc. So he's understanding it on an intellectual level, he's understanding it on an emotional level, and he's ready to do the deed. He's ready to speak up. And then when it comes to it, he freezes. So he's coming back and he's disappointed, and he tries again, and it's the same thing. It's an ingrained habit. So it's in a case like that, it's really, really good to get him to start bringing awareness into his body, to see what's happening in his body, where he's constricting. So for someone who's already connected to their body a little bit, he can it's like a rapid body scan. You're going, where's the tension? And your body's telling you straight away that I'm feeling the tension in my throat. So after a while of observing how his body's reacting in those situations, he can take it to the next step by consciously bringing his breath to that area. So the aim of this exercise would be for him to undo his body conditioning around his challenge of speaking up for himself. in a work environment. And what often happens is we have a stimulus, we have a thought, we have an emotion, and then we have our body response. But because we're so damn efficient, the human body is so damn efficient, it happens really, really quick. So it's stimulus, thought, emotion, body response, and we're not even aware of the thought or the emotion. And the body response has got us back into our habitual reaction or our habitual way of showing up in that particular area. Now, a lot of these habits are formed from an incident or a series of incidents when we're in a different part of our lives. And their original purpose was to protect us. They become subconscious. So that example of the client who's not able to speak up, there may have been an incident. This is just an example in his childhood where speaking up caused him to be rejected or punished or something like that. So it's all happening so quick. We need to slow it down and reverse it and bring our awareness to the emotions, to the thoughts, and to the body response, so that we're treating is not the right word. So we're tackling the challenges in a holistic way to maximize our client success.
I love that. And yeah, I'm in this group program right now with Rebecca Rubin. It's called Worthy Now. And I noticed she does this a lot with us too. Again, I didn't know this was like somatic coaching, but I'll get like a hot seat on the mastermind call, and we'll start, she'd be like, tell me what's going on. And we start openly talking, and then some emotion will start to come up, and, she'll be like, okay, let's focus on that right now. And yeah, she'll have us close our eyes, and she'll be like, where does this live in your body right now? And does it have a shape? Does it have a color? Does it have a texture? How does it feel? And at first I thought it was really weird. I didn't really understand it. I didn't get it or the point of it. But then I've been seeing her and watching her coaching people over and over again using this. And by finding like where it lives in your body, it just brings up like so many answers. And then like you said, it usually like brings back to like something that maybe happened in their childhood, something traumatic or in a relationship, or it's just like such a great way to like dig and dive deeper in a way that the coach and the person don't really know where it's going to go, but they know that there's something here to explore. And it's just so fascinating. I want to start using it more myself.
Yeah, it is. It is really powerful, and it's again that power and simplicity. You don't have to, if it has been a trauma, you don't have to relive it. You're focusing on how it's showing up in your body today. And quite often these muscle memories and these body habits, it doesn't even have to be a trauma. It can be how we've interpreted something with our child's mind. It can be something simple that's caused us to shrink and to not live to our full potential.
Yeah, exactly.
With the body scanning as well, another little technique that I use it for is for someone who's having a hard time making a decision, is get them to again close their eyes and think of, so the first option is, if someone has 2 or 3 options and they're not able to pick, get them to think and really in their imagination explore the first option and see how that shows up in their body. Then the second option and third option, it can generate a lot of clarity very quickly, especially when we're torn between different options, because we tend to overthink things and we dial down our intuition and we dial down the information that our body is giving us. So if you can get them to consciously focus on one option and see where it shows up in their body, is it really excitement they're feeling, or are they feeling heaviness? Your body won't lie in that situation, which your head might talk you out of it. The best option on paper might not be the best option for you, and localizing in how it shows up or identifying how it shows up in your body can be a really, really great way of getting clarity when you've got several decisions to make. So that's a couple of different ways to use body scanning.
And then the last one was heel walking. Do you want to explain that one to us?
I love heel walking. It is the most simple exercise in the world. I haven't done it for a while, but I started doing it about 2 weeks ago, just walking the dog in the morning around the block. And it's so simple, but I encourage anyone who's watching today or who's watching the replay, try heel walking even if you want to go around the block. You lead with your heel. So instead of putting your toe down first, which we tend to do more often, you consciously put your heel down with each step. So you go heel toe, and then the next step, heel toe, heel toe. What it does is it forces you to stand up straighter. So it's kind of pushing you back into alignment. When we talk a lot about in coaching about being out of alignment and what we need to do to get back into alignment, and yet we forget about the body. Being out of alignment, whether it's with our true selves or with our bodies, it takes a lot of energy. So there's a lot of chronically exhausted people out there who are getting proper nutrition, who are getting proper sleep. And the reason they're tired is because they're either not living in alignment with their core values or their true self, and it could be a combination, they're not in alignment in their body. So heel walking kind of forces you to put your body back into alignment and walk straight, but also forces you to look up. So it can be really useful as a homework assignment for people who are very detail focused and they need to look at the bigger picture. So doing heel walking for 5 or 10 minutes every day over a period of time, say a week or 2 weeks, and then get them to reevaluate whatever they were trying to see from a broader perspective. And you'll notice the change. There's a shift happens. And another way to use heel walking that I really like is for people who have weak boundaries and who are trying to build up their boundaries and develop more fluid boundaries.
How does it help you to develop your boundaries? Because I need to do some boundary work myself.
Well, I'd love to say try heel walking and come back in a week and tell me what you've noticed that's different. How it works is, again, it's people with weak boundaries or people who need to build up their boundaries a little bit. They tend to walk with their gaze slightly lowered. And it's so slightly that you might not even notice it. Heel walking forces you to shift your gaze a little bit, and it shifts your energetic imprint. So it's easier to say no, and it's easier to say, not right now, I need to think about it, or whatever boundary issue that you're working on. If you've developed a habit of heel walking, you'll notice that things that made your voice quiver or things that made you feel really guilty, suddenly that emotional charge is taken out of it. So again, and it needs to be incorporated into other awareness building exercises and obviously powerful questioning. But if it's used in combination with those things, the results tend to be more long lasting and quicker. Again, I mean, I'd encourage you to experiment with these things, see what kind of clients respond to them, what clients, what their outcomes are, how they come back to you, what the feedback is when they come back to you after doing these things.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to incorporate like all of these things that we talked about today now in my coaching practice and with my clients. And I think it would be so beneficial to what we're already doing and help them to get, like you said, more clarity, better access into their life and their body, and to just help us get better results. And I mean, who doesn't want that when they're paying a coach to work with them one-on-one? So I'm really grateful that you did this training with us today, introduced us to this idea of somatic coaching. And I'm just curious if someone would want to go more into this area, do you have to do an online training, or like, what would you recommend if you wanted to like be a somatic coach or start incorporating somatic coaching techniques into your already coaching practice?
There is a somatic coaching school. It's Richard Strozzi Heller. I think they're based in the States, and they do specific somatic coaching training. You can also learn just different techniques. There's a really good book. One sec now. Suzanne Zeman has a book written for coaches called, Listening to Bodies, a Somatic Primer for Coaches, Managers, and Executives. If anyone has experience with body techniques or yoga, meditation, things like that, if you can find a way and you feel intuitively drawn to bring it into your coaching conversations, then I'd suggest you experiment. You're not going to break anybody. We're dealing with healthy, high functioning individuals, and we always ask for permission before trying anything new, so that, if your client doesn't want to do it, then they can just say no.
And you said, what was the name of that book? Was it The Art of Somatic Coaching?
That is Richard Strozzi Heller's book. I didn't find that particularly useful, but someone who doesn't have any background in somatic techniques might. I just remember reading it and not learning anything new.
Okay. But it might be good for me then, who's like...
I would recommend listening to Bodies before The Art of Somatic Coaching. There's way more information, and it's more practical, and it goes into more advanced techniques, like breath work and different kinds of breath work depending on what you're trying to achieve. So for someone who wants to come across as an expert in their area, you focus your breath in your lower abdomen, kind of below your belly button. If you want to connect with people, for example, in a meeting or in a training, you need to focus your breathing around your ribs. It just goes into different breathing techniques depending on how you want to connect with different people or how you want to come across. It's got more practical exercises.
Yeah, so if you could, after this training is over, maybe come back in the comments here and share some of those recommendations for books or training, that would be super helpful for us.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Niamh. That was incredible. I'm so grateful for your time and teaching us today. And I also want to make sure we have the link for the beautiful worksheet that she designed for us that explains these three techniques and what somatic coaching is. So I would highly recommend downloading that. The link is in the comments here. And then, Niamh, we can also put the links to like your social media and your websites. That way people can follow you, because you're an amazing coach. And I think that they need to have you in your life now, or at least be stalking you online. But yeah, that was so wonderful. So thank you. I so appreciate you.
Well, I hope people found it useful, and I hope that people watching will experiment with these techniques and just see how they work for themselves, even if they don't want to bring that straight into their coaching conversations. Just experiment with them and see if they notice any difference.
Well, and I know like Stacy's watching right now and she's training to be a midwife, and I feel like this is stuff that you could even use in midwifery practice with your laboring patients as well.
Very much. These practices are very transferable.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. I wish that we could have seen your beautiful face throughout the second half of the training. We just have this black box in the corner, but we, got to hear your voice, which is so soothing and relaxing and amazing. But again, this was awesome. And thank you everyone for watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And let us know what in this next week, oh my gosh, sorry, that's I'm in a hotel right now in Chicago. Let us know in the comment section what new technique you're going to try in your coaching practice. So, okay. I
Thanks for
gotta go
inviting
before
me
this
in,
phone
Krista.
keeps ringing. All right. Bye, everyone.